Hindustan Times, 28 March 2024, China and India engage in new diplomatic negotiations without producing any real progress. To control the Indian Ocean, China is deterring India in the north while expanding its fleet of aircraft carriers in the south. The Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on India-China Border Affairs, WMCC, convened its 29th meeting between China and India on Wednesday in Beijing. After another round of negotiations on the standoff in the Ladakh sector of the Line of Actual Control, LAC, in Beijing, senior Indian and Chinese officials decided to communicate frequently through diplomatic and military channels without any immediate evidence of progress. The Ministry of External Affairs said, the two sides had an in-depth exchange of views on achieving complete disengagement and resolving the remaining issues along the Line of Actual Control, LAC, in the western sector of India-China border areas. The readout stated, without providing any specifics, that both parties committed to preserving regular communication via diplomatic and military routes and upholding peace in the border regions in compliance with current bilateral accords and customs until further notice. The Joint Secretary, East Asia, of the Ministry of External Affairs led the Indian delegation to the 29th meeting of the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination, WMCC, on India-China Border Affairs. The Director General of the Boundary and Oceanic Department of the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs led the Chinese delegation. The Galwan Valley in the Ladakh region became the center of increased hostilities between China and India in June 2020. When violent skirmishes broke out between Chinese and Indian troops in the Galwan Valley, the situation became more dire. The conflict was the most significant escalation in the border issue between the two countries in decades and resulted in casualties and fatalities on both sides. To settle the situation and stop further escalation, the conflict prompted both sides to send more troops and military hardware to the area and hold high-level diplomatic and military discussions. India-China relations are at their lowest point in 60 years, and New Delhi is adamant that normalization of the relationship depends on restoring peace and calm along the Line of Actual Control, LAC. Since the start of the standoff, both sides have stationed more than 50,000 soldiers apiece in the Ladakh region. Tens of troops and cutting-edge equipment remain in the hands of the Indian and Chinese armies in the Ladakh theatre despite 4 rounds of disengagement from Galwan Valley, Pangong Tso, Gagra, PP-17A, and Hot Springs, PP-15. Negotiations over issues at Deemchok and Depsang are currently ongoing.